Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. So, today is Thursday, which is my Friday, and simple breakfast toast, oatmeal, and coffee. And I only got one flavor left because I like mixing the cinnamon with the apple. So, I got maple and brown sugar, but that's okay. It'll go good with my peanut butter, my toast and peanut butter. So yesterday left off talking about the camper and the vans. Well, we got our camper all fixed up, and we had the Pontiac 6000, which we only paid $400, and anyway, it was a bigger vehicle than the Chevette, right? With 3 kids. So anyhow. So what we did was, see, Dad and his wife, they came into a little bit of money, and they had to buy everything. They bought a brand new one, like I said, and it was so heavy. They didn't want to go to the campgrounds. They wanted to go up a hill, mountains, and whatever. They didn't need power, and she would want the thing right filled up with water so she could take a shower in the morning, Anyway, so it was heavy. Dad bought himself an old truck, which was 8-cylinder and everything. And for her to haul that thing, they just got a Dodge Caravan. Well, that's just a car, 6-cylinder. They tore the transmission out of it. It was brand new, twice, lugging that thing. So Jim told him, said, we went camping with them where their spot once. And we had the Pontiac 6000 with that lightweight thing that we had, Anyway, said, you guys need a GMC Safari van if you want a van, 8-cylinder and for that thing. It's full body, and anyway, so they ended up getting one. So we had the Pontiac 6000. Jim wanted to get a van, but he didn't want a Dodge Caravan. I said, well, what do you want? He hated Ford. Hated Ford. He told the girls, when you guys come home with a boyfriend, if he comes in, if he drives a Ford, he got to park on the side of the road. He said, it's not being parked in my driveway. That's how bad he hated Fords. So anyways, I said, well, what type of van? He said, maybe just a Chevy Astro cargo van. I said, what are those? He said, those little cubic vans that people deliver with? And I said, it's not a passenger van. He said, you can always put a window and put seat in. I said, well, look for one. So I come home from work. We had the money saved up. This was in St. John. He said, I found a van this weekend, tomorrow. I think it was Friday, the weekend, or Saturday. We're going to go look at it. Because he wasn't going to get he was a type, he was into sports car and all that, and blah, blah, blah. He was not going to get station wagon. There were no way he was going to get a station wagon. So, went and looked at it. It already had the side window. It was made for us. I'm telling you, this van, I don't care how much it was going to be, it was made for us. It has a window, In the middle, they had 3 seats for the kids. And it was easy to get in and out of and stuff because it was in the middle. Not, So anyway, and under the hood was a 350 engine that they installed from a Z28 that they used to drag race in Penville. Well, that was just top Jim's look. A family van that runs like a sports car. So we get the van, but nothing was wrong with the body. It wasn't any holes or rust, but it needed a paint job. I said to him, I said, and blue teal just was coming out. That was a Chevy color. I said, we gotta get that painted. He said, I'll work on it. So, we're putting the Pontiac 6000 up for sale. The body wasn't that good, but the engine was good in it. Talked to that guy again because we're in St. John. I call him the Firefly guy. You call him. They talk. When he said, listen, I got a Pontiac 6000. He's the one who told him about the van, too. He said that I got to sell. He said, anybody interested in it? He said, well, because I got to get this car painted. He said, well, he knew everybody. This guy knew everything. He said, there's this guy. He got a Pontiac 6000 for his daughter. And the engine is shot, but the body's good. Everything's good. And he has a garage. And he also has a spray paint booth. Jim's like. So he goes down there. Jim said, tell you what. He said, you can have this car. Excellent engine and everything. Motor and transmission, everything for parts. Same year, same everything. He said, if I can use your spray booth, if I buy the paint and reducer, all that, thinner paints and everything, he said, can I use, and I'll tape up my van and come early in the morning and come back and pick it up the next day. And he said, I'll tape it up and everything, buy the paint. I just need your booth and I need your gun. He said, sure. So, we go to Carcross to get the paint. I told him I didn't want any reds because I heard the max. I didn't want white, didn't want blue. Or black, white and black. And Dad's in them was like a burgundy, and I didn't want any reds. I said, let's get that blue teal, that new color that's coming out with the Chevys. I said, okay, we'll look at the book. It's like $150 just for the paint. That's not for the reducer and the hardener. I'm like, shit, I'm not paying that much money. So I turned the page, seen a teal blue, $65. I said, what about this one? I said, what? That's a Ford color. Like the Ford Astro vans. They were teal blue and it had the silver underneath. I said, I don't care. You got a big GM sticker on it. Everybody's going to know it's not a Ford. And the van does not look like an Astro van with the nose going out like that. It's a flat nose. Anyway. But Some people are stupid. I'll tell you this before. So, we get it painted. I'm working at the bank, 3-hour shift. So up by the graveyard, there's 2-hour parking. I don't work there all the time. I was working on the hill over the other one. There were 3 Royal Banks, right? Once in a while, I would work downtown. And I was going to pay 3 hours. Couldn't pay for 3-hour parking. They didn't have the meter, and I'm not going to pay for 8-hour day if I'm only working 3 hours. So usually I have like a 20-minute break. It's not far from the bank. And I usually go, on my break, moving. See, because they mark where you're tired. Give you a ticket. So I come home with the van, and I got a ticket. I couldn't move it that day. I wasn't looking. All I seen was a $95 or whatever it was. I was freaking out. Jim knew I was parking there. He knew. He told me to. It's only 3 hours. Blah blah blah. Just move it. But I couldn't move it that day. Anyhow. So looked at it. He said, "Nope, you're not paying this ticket." I said, "Why?" "No." She said, "You go down there." They put down Ford van. They didn't, because of the color. They were thinking Ford, what did I say? We had Chevy Astro, and that was a Ford. Anyway, so he said, "I'm not paying that ticket. I'm not paying for a Ford. We don't own a Ford." I said, "Okay, whatever." So I went down. And I went to the little booth, the little room that and one of the meter mans was getting his mail or whatever, in mail. And I said, "There's a mistake. If they make a mistake on a ticket, you don't have to pay it." I said, "There's a mistake on this ticket." I said, "My husband, he don't own a Ford." I said, "He will not own a Ford. He said he never owned one." And I went on about a Ford. In a Ford, in a Ford, in a Ford. She made on, you could tell she was making on shoes. She wasn't on no computer. She goes, "Yeah, it looks like a mistake." And I went on. I said, "My husband won't pay this ticket." I said, he don't like a Ford. I said, "We got a Chevy Astro van." I said, "But we don't own no Ford." So we get out of the ticket. So he paints it up and everything. Continue on. And we started going just on the weekend and leaving the camper there, but we had to tear it out and set it down because this is the next summer from the overflow. Guy next to us, I knew him from school. So he said, "Are you guys tearing it down all the time?" The next summer when we was going back, he said, "I got 2 plug-ins. You guys only need one. I only need one." He was a seasonal. He said, that way there you can bring the kids' bicycles down or whatever, put it underneath, and that screen thing you got, you can keep it up and I'll watch it. We still had to pay full lot because ding dongs took over the park and ruined the park. They had to close it down. It was provincial, then it went private, and they got a bunch of grants and stuff and went to states and bought vehicles, and all that money didn't go on a campground. So anyway, what happens, I'm not into politics, but I guess he only bought it for $1 or something, and anyway, whatever was going on. So we did that, and then the following year we ended up getting a seasonal next to our friend. And then his relatives was next. They had kids, and then we got to know the people on this side, and it was good. We at night sit around the fire, but Jim did not like pork. A year later, Seb came out with the because I was coming out of Walmart. This truck is brand new, so I know it came from factory. Parked next to our van, identical color, and it was a Chev. I told Jim about it. I said, see, it's not just a board color now. It was the same, identical. So, anyway, I'll talk about the yard sale tomorrow. And of course, I got a good topic tomorrow. And the dog. Tomorrow, I'm going to do my breakfast, and then I think LaPonda's gonna drive me over to Jenny's. I'm gonna go visit the little ones for a little bit, and then I'll catch the bus back. Saturday, Miss Lee's, I'm gonna have her over, but she goes to school. No, Saturday, she won't be going to school. What is LaPonda talking about? She said, anyway, probably be around 4. What I'm gonna do is where she's a fussy eater, Miss Lee's. I'm gonna videotape, but she's gonna be in the background, tell me how much milk to put in it, how runny she likes it, and blah blah blah, and how much cheese, because I don't want her sitting on camera saying, Yummy, I don't like this. I never made mac and cheese for her, so anyway. So she's even bringing the ingredients over, everything, LaPonda. Because I said, I don't want to sit up, she's a picky eater. I don't want my crappies. Anyway, and then Saturday night, I'll tease her, we'll have fun. We'll just talk, I'll let her go. LaPonda will go because she won't say nothing with her mama here. You know what I mean? $3 off when you buy 2 Quaker products. This is the only Quaker product that I get. I had to laugh at the kids. I used to, because when we moved down on, when they were both going to college there, and Jenny was going to the high school, Jenny was in cheerleading and everything, so it was good once we sold the trailer. And they were across the street from the college. But all that, no, this was in the park, this was in high school too. But we were in the park, but where the high school is, they're all restaurants, like McDonald's and Wendy's, like all of them. Burger King and KFC, and you got Deluxe, it's all restaurant. So I'd cut out the coupons and I'd have them in my purse. And they'd be saying, okay, that I'm going to Timmy's, or not Timmy's, but McDonald's today, or Burger King, whatever. I always say, I got a coupon. You got a coupon. You and your coupons, blah, 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 blah. Okay, whatever. Then their friends start using it, 2 for $1 and $1 off and $2 because they're working for their money now. They're working at Tim's, right? Then they start saying, Mom got a coupon? Mom got a coupon? So I used to have this round thing on the table and I'd cut them out and put the coupons in there and just check them once in a while, make sure they don't get an expiry one, right? But yeah, so when we moved close to that main road there, God, I couldn't keep up with the coupons with them. But yeah, I don't do coupons anymore. Even when I walk in the store, I throw the flyer in the garbage, and we don't get the Walmart flyer anyway here, and Dollar Store don't have one. Tiger, we never ever get that. I suppose when I walk in the door, I could once in a while look to see what's on sale, right? I know that I'm not. See, what I do is I make a grocery list. Not at Dollar Store. I got my list, but I know I'm going to pick up extra. But Walmart, I got my list, and I stay by it. But and then I know how much everything is, I know how much going in there, and I know how much I'll have coming out. If I know I have a few dollars extra, I might look at the flyer and get something that I don't normally get. You know what I mean? Like those waffles the other day. I usually don't get waffles once in a while. If I got extra money and they're cheap. They weren't on sale, but I knew the price of them, right? So, anyhow, so tomorrow I'll talk about the Fords or the yard sale and the Ford. Yard sale and Ford and the dog. So, until tomorrow, cigarette time. Yesterday wasn't too bad. It freezing rain and ice and everything in the morning. By the time I got to work, it was all melted, but last night we had to put a lot of rock and ice melt and stuff down because it was getting slippery. Probably hear about that when I get into work. You don't have ice melt. Well, if there's ice, you use it. You know. Anyhow. Yes. So I'll download this. Wait a few minutes before you click on it because I gotta wait to put I don't put the ads in. There's ways of moving them or something. Bro told me and whatever. He showed me it's so complicated. Maybe not on the PC, but on my phone he showed me. I can't even get there anymore. So anyway, I just let you do their thing. Whatever they want advertising, you can't choose them anyway. But whatever advertising they want to put in there, wherever they want to put it, I just leave it alone. So if there's 10 in one video and 2 in one, So anyways, yeah, so wait a few minutes so that because if there's no volume, just wait a few minutes and then turn it on. Refresh. That's about it. Tomorrow for breakfast I'll have eggs and bacon probably, or pancake. Today I just didn't feel like a big breakfast. So until tomorrow, you guys all have a good day. And a cigarette time. See